My mother does not want me to be a shepherd.
Why not?
She just said, don't be a shepherd. I'm not going to be a shepherd.
Oh, yes, you are. What's the matter with everybody?
I don't want to be shepherds because Gladys heard me hit too hard.
Gladys doesn't hit anybody. The angel of the Lord just visits the shepherds in the field and tells them Jesus is born. That's ridiculous, and I don't want to hear another word about it from anyone. No shepherds may quit or get sick. Now that's all for today, boys and girls, and you can go, but I expect to see everyone here on Wednesday at 6:30. Alice, what's wrong with you? Why in the world did you raise your hand?
I don't know.
You don't know? Alice, I expected you to volunteer.
Mr. Bradley!
Don't you want to be married?
Mr. Bradley!
Coming!
Oh, come on, Alice. I don't know. I didn't dare raise my hand. Imogen showed me. She said, if you open your mouth to raise your hand, you wish you didn't. And I said, that I'm always married in the Christmas pageant. And she said, go ahead then. And next spring, when the pussy willows come out, I'll stick a pussy willow so far down your ear that nobody can reach it. And it'll sprout there and grow and grow. And she said it's from my life, the pussy willow whispering out of my ear. No, she wouldn't do that. She would too. Her wouldn't do anything. You just watch her do something terrible and ruin the whole pageant. And it's all your father's fault.
Jane, it's Evan Harvey here. He doesn't shoot her. Well, this must be Greg's fault somehow. How else would all 6 of them end up in our Christmas pageant? We ought to be in jail. Did you hear that Imogen, her husband, is going to be unmarried? Oh, I can't imagine anything worse, Jane. I live next door to those kids, and I would rather live next door to it too. And Greg wants his mind. Oh, I have to call Helen.
Oh, where did they come from? Who let them in?
Well, Helen, I don't know how they...
Imogen Herdman. What kind of a child is that we married the mother of Jesus? Where was Reverend Hopkins, I'd like to know? Visiting, shut in. Well, I'm a shut in, and he certainly wasn't visiting me.
Well, Helen, I thought that maybe we could just have them hand out programs or something. Well, Greg said that we don't have programs for our Christmas fest. Well, you know what I think? We're going to have to nail down the church, lock up our silver servers, and hide all of our collection plates before those kids clean us out.
What is the matter with Greg? Couldn't he have sent them away, tell them to go home? Oh, I feel responsible. If I'd been up and around, it never would have happened.
Oh, if I'd been up and around, this never would have happened. Oh, well, let me tell you, Rob.
Tell me, Dad, I'm on your side. The car's over there.
Mrs. Armstrong is not the only person alive who could run a Christmas pageant. I made up my mind to do just the best I could under the circumstances. But now I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to do it with the Herdman. After all, they raised their hands, and nobody else did. And I don't care.
Good for you, Dad. But the car's over there.
And you have to help me.
Does that mean...
You have to go. Backstage here, and the shepherds come in and gather around the manger.
Where do the shepherds come from anyway? What's it in? It's like a motel. Where people go to spend the night?
What people? You mean Jesus? Honestly, Jesus wasn't even born yet. Mary and Joseph went there.
Why?
To pay their taxes.
And a motel? Everybody quiet.
beginning.
The beginning of the play. What happened?
Imogene, this is a Christmas story from the Bible. Haven't you ever heard the Christmas story from the Bible? Well, that's what this passage is, so I better read it to you. Charlie, get me a Bible.
I don't believe that, do you? They never heard of a Christmas story. Why not? They don't even know what a Bible is. And they've never been to church in their whole life. So your dumb brother told me that you said back to me. Now we have to waste all this time. For nothing.
All right now. There went out the decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee with Mary his wife, who was great with child.
Pregnant. She was pregnant.
All right, we all know that Mary was pregnant. And it came to pass, while they were there, that the days were accomplished, that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son.
I don't think it's very nice to say that Mary was pregnant. Well, she was. Still, I don't think your father should say it. Mary was pregnant. It's much better to say it. Great with child. I'm not supposed to talk about people being pregnant, especially in church.
And wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
You mean they didn't have room for Jesus?
Well, nobody knew the baby was going to be Jesus.
Didn't Mary know? Didn't he know? What's wrong with Joseph? Why they didn't tell him? I mean Mary being pregnant.
What's a manger? Some kind of bed?
They didn't have a bed in the barn, so Mary had to use whatever there was. What would you do if you had a new baby and no bed to put the baby in?
Well, we have Gladys to turn the bureau door.
There you are. You didn't have a bed for Gladys, so you had to use something else.
Oh, we had a bed. I mean, oil, so that she wouldn't get out. She didn't like Gladys much. Remember when you didn't like Gladys?
That was pretty smart of Olive. Remember like Gladys right off the bat?
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What about the water up clothes?
The what?
It said in there. What?
And she wrapped them in watered up clothes.
Swaddling clothes. People used to wrap up babies very tightly in big pieces of material to make them feel cozy.
So you mean they tied Jesus up and then put him in some sort of feed box? Where was social services? There is not every 5 minutes. There were no social services in Bethlehem, I'll say.
And there were shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of... What?
Oh, the black with the horrible vengeance.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gladys.
The Mighty Marvel, an amazing comic. Oh, the black with the horrible vengeance. The Mighty Marvel!
This is the angel of the Lord who brings the good news to the shepherds.
Out of nowhere, right? In the black of night. Really?
Well, in a way.
Say it.
Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east bearing gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh.
What's that?
There were special things, spices and precious oil.
Oil. What kind of present is oil? We get better presents from welfare.
Well, these were well-fed wise men. They were the kings, and they were sent.
Well, it's about time somebody important showed up. That means kids. They get Jesus out that barn and then tell the innkeeper to get off.
They were sent by Herod, who was, well, he was the main king, and he wanted to find Jesus and have him put to death.